affordable for me.
And I appreciate that, and that's why that's also why I mentioned the Shadid bill earlier, because he has specific programs in there aimed specifically at small business to give them tax breaks for using the same kinds of insurance that large companies have, but more importantly, giving you also a tax credit, tax break if you have an HSA for your employee and then allow them or you to handle a catastrophic or a high deductible on top of it. Because we clearly understand most of the jobs that are coming in this country are coming to small business. That's also why, hopefully, to allow different kinds of pools to develop, so business communities, church group, whatever kind of pool you want to have, you can have a pool for healthcare purposes at the same time, or go across state lines. But the key issues here, once again to me, is I don't think the government is going to be able to help you solve your problem, because I don't think the government can actually do that. I do think that the private sector, if you have free market elements in there so that people can go and choose for themselves and make decisions for themselves, which is why I like HSAs so much, especially for younger people. I'm too old to really get the best benefit of it, but for some younger people, I'll try and do that. So that's why I'd like to go to that approach as to a forced system. And the biggest problem I really had, because the area that I dealt with on the bill was the administration side. And so this healthcare commission that would be established in the House version is one that would be established to come up with a government option. At the same time, they would be the ones who would decide what private options would be allowed to compete with them and what those private options would have to do. I don't like that setup. That's one of the things I can't accept as far as an overall setup of the administration. And then unfortunately, I read the bill, or at least that section of it, and there are little things in this particular bill that are just mind-boggling to me. For example, in this administrative section, the government will establish an ombudsman to talk to private citizens. But in the language of the bill, it said the ombudsman must talk to people in a linguistically appropriate manner. So somebody is trying to be poetic and politically correct at the same time. There is no definition of what a linguistically appropriate manner is. This is like opening up a whole opportunity. If I can speak Icelandic and you can't, I can sue you for not talking to me in a linguistically appropriate. Those are the types of things that are riddled through this bill, and they need to be taken out so it's plain language. All right, ma'am in the turquoise, and then some, ma'am will come up here, and then I'll come back over to this side.
Thank you, Mr. Bishop. Regarding the stimulus, I understand that the majority of the American people don't believe the stimulus is affecting them in a good way. If you see in a short time that it is not doing what it was promised to do, is there a mechanism you can do to stop it or pull it back? And are you willing to do that?
Yes, but it would require another bill to be passed to take away the authorization for the bill that was passed. It can be done, but you'd have to have a majority. Ma'am, you want to go? This is true.
Oh, hello.
I'm
I'm 87. After all, I'm entitled to, but I want to thank you for the wonderful work you have done for this wonderful state. I'm a transplant, but I consider myself a Utahan. My biggest issue today is the fact that changes are coming about in Medicare. I know it's expensive. We live too long. What are we going to do about it? If you listen to what is coming across from our president's mouth, one minute he says you can keep the plan you have, the next minute he says, I'm going to do away with Medicare Advantage, which is a wonderful program that is administered by many different companies, and it works. Please, please, stand up for us, and I know you will.
all right, you can applaud for anyone over 80. I will say, you're exactly right on Medicare Advantage. I was opposed to them taking that away. I think it's wrong. That was the only part of free enterprise that was in the Medicare system.